So before I jump into the water, I completely disrobe. 100%.
What does that look like?
Don't ask
Leave
that
it up to your
question.
imagination.
No. I'm asking that question.
We're not allowed to talk about it here.
The touring public needs to know.
We'd have to be streaming on Kick if we wanted to do that.
Before we continue, forgive me, ma'am. What is your mode of address? Your lady, your grace, your holiness. Just for my personal reference going forward in these negotiations.
Protector.
Protector Durza.
Pretty badass.
Well, Protector Durza, as I said before, I cannot speak on behalf of my friends here, but my main interest in your land is the retrieval of my brother-in-arms, Michel d'Augustine, and his squire, Jean. Are they here? Are they still alive?
They are here, yes. And they are, for now, still alive. Also, yes.
Have they been imprisoned then?
Yes.
May I ask what for?
No.
Well, is there any way I could be permitted to go see them?
No. Not yet.
All right. What is it we're gonna have to do to let you this holy man see his buddies?
They are being... And she takes a pause for a second. What do your people call it? Trial, yes?
Better what? What are the charges? Does he have a lawyer?
She pauses and goes, oh, what?
Never mind.
Counsel, Protector.
No,
To formulate a defense.
there's no defense needed.
Well, then why have a trial?
So they may stand accused of their actions.
Before whom, may I ask?
The tribal council?
Ah. And the people, are they permitted to see this?
Of course.
And
Yep,
we
there
are
it is.
ourselves amongst the people. So, if you would lead the way, I would be happy to observe your customs.
Very well. She, as she walks past the one guard, she very aggressively, kicks him in the chest, and then just continues walking.
Excuse me.
What a
Excuse
great
me.
protector.
Excuse me, Protector.
And she kind of just
Bathroom.
looks over her shoulder.
Are these trials a formal affair?
In what way?
Should I clean up? And if so, where can I do that?
It's not required, I suppose, but if you choose, you may bathe here, I suppose.
I mean, is this getting started now? Do I got time? Because
No, it'll take place tomorrow. You have plenty of time.
perfect.
So, hold on. Before we enter into your realm, such as it is, what are you doing with us? Are we under arrest as well?
Oh no, you would know if you were under arrest.
Am I free to leave?
You will be kept under supervision, as provided you do not wander through our lands of your own free will, but you can go and come as you would like, yes.
I'd prefer to be under a blanket on top of a pillow, if you know what I'm saying.
That can
Also, sorry. Just am I remembering correctly that it is like dawn right now? Like we took a long rest and then kept going, and now it is dawn.
correct. The sun is just starting to kind of crest over the
We have
The
to kill a
water.
whole day here.
Madam, do you happen to have a library or anything like that?
and she stops and like looks back at you. Do I look like I read books?
Well-
Honestly, no.
I didn't know if there was perhaps a public place where one might acquire or just borrow books.
Figure it out. And she just walks away.
I'll just like look over. I'm assuming Orlo's still like right next to me. I'll just look over at him and be like, bloody rude.
I mean, show me. She said I could bathe here. That's not so bad.
Yeah, Orlo, I think she liked you.
Bad to the rest of us anyway.
Well, I can be a little bit charming.
Roland's going to look around to see if there's anybody listening or if they're kind of being ignored on the street.
You very visibly have two people that are following you, but besides that, nobody is paying attention to you at all. They don't give a shit that you exist.
So, what kind of place are we walking into, DM? Like, is it like a fortress, a castle, a town?
So we'll go to that right now.
Okay.
So as you guys crest over the initial hill into the city, it's kind of all overhung with the mountains and things. But as you kind of pass through this, as you walk through this small pass, it opens up into just a very large open complex of buildings, and they're kind of layered up into the side of the mountain, and it's very overgrown in the sense of like it is very much one with the island that it is a part of. Trees are kind of growing through buildings, and moss and things are hanging over the top of them.
Like an LRL type situation, or
Kind of, except I mean, to a certain extent for sure. But there's a massive waterfall that kind of feeds into the middle of the town and runs through just pretty much the center of the whole island. And the town is kind of built up through into the mountains, and it looks very, I guess, like Central American, South American, like Aztec, Mayan, like that type of style of architecture. Like squat buildings, nothing too tall in terms of most of the buildings, but they are built up like on the like out of the mountain.
nice place you got here.
Nobody answers you.
Well, I think there'd be some civic pride.
If you look closely at the buildings, you do notice that they are they're made out of what looks to be a manufactured material. It's not something that you would be super familiar with, but they seem very sturdy from even just touching them, looking at them.
Roland's going to take his hand and, like, as they pass one of the buildings, kind of rub it with his gauntlet, and then kind of loosen his gauntlet and take it off, and then like knock on it and rub it again and go, ah. Gonna put his gauntlet back on.
That was an inspiration to for some better building materials.
Well, at what cost, friend? At what cost?
Although, do you have any idea what this man's saying half the time?
I mean, words mostly.
I can speak Draconic, but my accent is pretty horrendous, as you may imagine.
And I'll just look at him and Draconic be like, well met.
Roland's gonna go, and also with you. Pax Vobiscum, friends.
Look down at Orlo. I'm gonna look up at Orlo, I guess. Is this how you feel all the time?
Is how I feel.
Never mind.
Orlo, you would be particularly interested again by the fact that there is a massive waterfall that runs pretty much the entirety of the town. Being that you are looking for water specifically, but not the ocean water.
Yeah, so Orlo just kind of looks up at the waterfall and kind of sees where it's coming down, mostly like where there's a place where I might be able to like wade in underneath of it. And I just kind of scope that out and start walking towards it if I can identify it.
There's a bunch of places where it kind of where it's coming off the side of the mountain where it just dips off into the next section. So any one of those particularly you could. There's one maybe 200 yards away from where you guys are right now, though. So if that's where you want to start heading towards.
Yep.
Orlo's just going to start walking off towards the center of town.
And I'm just gonna look at Emmerin and be like, why is that water safe, but that one wasn't?
Have we started trying to figure out Orlo logic? Because I
mean,
think that's.
We have to start somewhere.
Do we?
I feel like it would make things easier, yeah.
I'm gonna die.
So, Orlo, go ahead and give me a perception check, if you would.
Oops. 7.
So, as you're walking through, you're not really paying attention.
Orlo not paying attention? How dare?
But you're keeping track of where you're headed towards. But you walk out towards where you think you're supposed to be heading, and you take a step, and you're standing at the base of one of these large falls, and you kind of like look up, and as you look up towards the top of it, you see this massive building kind of just resting at the top that you could not see before from where you were standing, and you notice it and you realize that it's there, but you're not interested at all, and you just kind of jump right into the water.
I don't like this.
Oh.
Is this sewage?
Roland's.
Oh, no.
Roland,
So
Roland's
before I
gonna-
jump into the water, I completely disrobe. 100%.
What does that look like?
Don't ask.
Leave
that
it up to your
question.
imagination.
No. I'm asking that question.
We're not allowed to talk about it here.
The touring public needs to know.
We'd have to be streaming on Kick if we wanted to do that.
So as the other three of you walk up, all you get to see is this white. I guess that would be the right color, right? Grayish white elephant ass just jump into the water.
And is it like an elephant butt? Like, like you see the back of an elephant, you're like, oh, hey, an elephant butt. Or is it like human cheeks?
Yeah.
Yes.
How often is
okay.
Orlo in that squat rack, dude?
All day.
All the time.
Boy,
Yeah.
is-
Every day's leg day, baby.
Like, it's hidden by the robe, but now it's just out on display. I'm very acrobatic and gymnastic,
Yeah, no arguments. It's one of the few things you do well.
Show off that cake, buddy.
Yeah. I'm just proud. DM, looking around, what kind of like town are we talking here? Does it seem like a bustling trade town? Do we notice a lot of like battlements and soldiers peering at
So-
us? Like,
In terms of the people, there are a ton of people. Especially for you, Emmerin, this would be very akin to where you grew up. Sir Roland, it's a little bit bigger population density wise than what Argent is, and a substantially less quote unquote militaristic, I suppose, is the best way to say it. But there's people everywhere, and it is a lot of people, and they're all they're actually a lot of them dressed very similar to how Orlo normally dresses. Very simple. You see them, a lot of them carrying baskets and tools or textiles, things of that nature, just around to a lot of different places. There's very, very few soldiers, especially at least in the sense that you saw them in full armor. And for the most part, it just seems like people are doing their day-to-day business and lives.
Is there any like central area where we might be? I guess it's presuming that the trial would be taking place in.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Orlo's just going to be under there scrubbing, and he's just like, guys, you should come on in. The water's fine.
11.
Okay. It's hard to tell exactly because, again, it's very packed in. There's a lot of from the stuff that's below you, all you can see is just roofs. Kind of the way that like favelas are built, right? But you do see there are 3 very large buildings, kind of placed throughout the town, the city. One of them is directly above you, kind of, I guess, not directly above, but above in the side of the mountain. One of them is right where you guys came over through from the other side of the mountain into the town, and then one of them is on the far side across the river and closer down towards the shore. And they definitely stand out. They're substantially larger than any of the other buildings, but nothing to give you any idea of what they are specifically.
Do they look fortified at all?
The one on the side where you came in, the one above the main tunnel entrance, seems relatively fortified. The other 2, not as much.
Would I be able to like kind of draw on my knowledge of having fought in like formal military campaigns to like sort of infer what the purposes of any of these buildings would be in terms of like if I was looking at this town as though I were laying siege to it?
You can imagine most likely that the building above you is probably some type of either town hall or temple or something of the like, depending on the type of town it is. And the building above where you entered is most likely some type of military building, whether it's a barracks or what have you. But other than that, the third one is going to be a little out of your purview, especially for here.
And are there any churches in town or cathedrals that would have been built to, I guess, the mainland religion?
Not that you see immediately. Nothing that you would immediately recognize as a church.
Interesting. Well, if I had maybe a dozen ships, 1,000 men, and he looks back at the guards and back over at Emmerin and say, never mind.
Emmerin's just gonna smirk. Keep going. I guess we should probably let this lady take us to where she's trying to take us.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh, where are we going then?
You followed Orlo.
We followed Orlo,
Well, there was our first mistake.
and he got naked in the middle of town square.
So I've just stood here staring at a naked Orlo. That's what's been happening for the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, pal.
To be clear, I didn't follow. I'm just like off to the side with Steve and Buttonhead.
So this is a situation of I wasn't following you, you were following me. Oh, I hate this.
Orlo, while you're in the water here, you see that like occasionally a couple of people will walk by and then like just look at you and then just like be on their way. But after a few minutes of you like kind of just being in the water, a bunch of the children just start jumping into the water and splashing and playing and having a good time.
I told you the water was fine.
Yes, Orlo, it warms the heart.
And the skin and the body.
So we should find somebody perhaps to rest, maybe talk, figure out what our next move is going to be. You get a sense that anybody's watching? Are those guards still?
Yeah, the guards are with you. They haven't particularly said anything. They're just following you around. But if you want to ask them, you can direct that question towards them.
All right, so I'll turn around and ask them. So where can we get something to eat and maybe a place to sleep for the night before the trial?
And the one guard kind of looks at the other one. And he kind of looks back at you. And he like walks over to the edge of the precipice that you're standing on where the waterfall kind of continues over. And he looks down over at the third building that you guys were that Roland you were looking at and trying to determine the use of. And he kind of points down at that one and goes, "That should do. You should be able to find everything you need there. But we'll be with you."
Excellent, gentlemen. This stuff that the all these buildings are made of seems wonderful. What is it? Is it a magic? Is it sort of a mortar? What is it?
It's our creation.
Oh. Is there anywhere I could go, or if I were seeking to learn more about it, who would I speak to?
Maker Ito is the one that keeps the recipe, but I don't know that he would be much willing to give it to you as an outsider.
Oh, purely for discussion, cultural exchange, you understand. I wouldn't come in here try and steal something like that. It seems like something an idiot would do that may get him hanged.
Yes. That would be strange, wouldn't it?
Understood.
Insight check.
Yeah, I would like to insight. Like we're talking about my buddy. I think we both kind of know. 16.
I mean, again, nobody's trying to hide it.
Listen, it seems like you and your lot are getting kind of a raw deal from the protector. And speaking with her, she was none too forthcoming, but that man who's imprisoned is my brother in arms. And I will give you my word as a knight that I would not do anything today to take him out of your custody. I would just like to speak with him about what it is he's done and perhaps offer him absolution before our God, before he faces judgment.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
A 25.
Wow.
God damn.
It's all the fake dice, baby. It's on the records. Check 'em.
You see him kind of pause for a moment, and he like thinks about it for a second, and that makes sense. I would hope for the same. I'll see what I can do.
Roland offers the man his hand.
Like in marriage?
Yeah. Roland drops to one knee and pulls out a ring.
How beautiful.
The ring's not for his finger.
Oh.
Hey, even better. Can Laya watch?
Not for free.
Yeah, but you gotta pay.
Yeah. We're looking for sponsor deals. Patreon goals, tasteful Orlo nudes. Live action night fucking. I guess maybe some maps. We'll do maps too. You guys-
Map,
Oh
yeah.
my god. BK, no.
BK, yes.
Sorry, go ahead, BK. What?
As you guys are cock ringing up, BK is gonna look at the guards and you got a sense of any like rank in these guys at all, or are they just like schleps?
Them specifically, or like, have you noticed any of them wearing any type of rank insignia?
Yes.
Okay. So give me a history check. And while he's doing that, in what way do you mean offering him your hand there, Sir Roland?
Oh, like to shake his hand.
I assumed. I wasn't sure if you meant trying to cast a spell or
No.
12.
12? Check. It is a little bit primitive's not the right word, but the way that it's not anything that they wear like a medal or anything like that, but it does look like there is some type of markings that they all have on their like their shoulders, the shoulder pads that they have.
I'm so sorry. Looking at Sam's face. Anybody else who's gonna watch this later, Sam's cat just took a big shit, and he's trying his best not to breathe too deep.
Go ahead and drop in an edit point. I don't know. How does that work? I don't know anything about computers.
Cut.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah.
My client is innocent. But yes, they do seem to have some type of maybe not specifically rank from your deduction, but it is definitely something that
there's a hierarchy.
Yeah, you know how college football players, they put stars on their helmet when they do something good.
I'm Canadian. We don't do college football.
That's right. You don't do that. So there's a thing in college football that they do when they do something good. They put stickers on their helmet, and it's kind of
what a similar. Buckeye is.
A yummy snack.
Yeah, it's like a type of nut that's really depressed because it lives in Ohio.
Exactly.
Okay. So he's gonna turn around and look at these guys and go, "Gentlemen, what does the name El Haya mean to you?"
And both of them immediately kind of take a step back, and they drop down to one knee and like put their heads down.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I am a rather impressive specimen, there's no doubt, but that's not what I was looking for.
Sir Roland, you also may field this one if you should wish. This is very normal behavior for a very, very revered religious figure.
Roland's going to like take a step back and elbow Emmerin and and say, "Please do not compare yourself sexually to their gods."
Comparing myself sexually, you read into that. Now, if you're interested, it's a conversation we can have a little bit later. But right now, I'm trying to figure out about this lady Elia, and I'm trying the Orlo approach, and it seems like it's giving us something.
The next time he says Elia, Roland's going to like side eye the guards and see if he can catch one of their eyes, and then kind of like take a step back and kind of bow his head respectfully.
And I'll kind of copy the second time that he says her name. I try to also bow.
Is this happening nearby Orlo?
Yeah, like
I think
too
we're
far
just
away.
like, yeah, there's like 2 guards, us, your butt cheeks.
As it should be.
Yeah, you're at most 30 feet away from them, depending on the amount of water aerobics you're doing at the time.
So as this is going on, Orlo's going to like start to step out of the water, and if there's still kids in there playing, like he's just gonna like kick water at them as he passes by, and then he's just gonna like dry off and put his clothes back on.
Like playfully, or like,
Yeah.
get out of here, kids.
No, playfully.
You're not
And
gonna
now-
want to see this.
And now those children need therapy from seeing Orlo naked.
They didn't. We don't know what they saw.
Just his
So
massive
first they
trunk.
saw him naked, and then he gaslit them.
Orlo didn't say anything.
Um,
Orlo walked by quietly, playfully kicked some water at them, and then got dressed. You're putting words into Orlo's
trunk.
whole thing.
So as you're getting dressed, Orlo, the two guards stand back up and look at you, Emmerin, and they pause for a moment and say, "Hey, that might be something you should be careful with here."
Right. Well, fine. We figured that out. There's some communication breakdown here that hasn't happened. But so, what is she to you? Obviously, a deity, a god, something. Is that a
Gentleman? And I'll kind of like just wave my hand, just like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to smack my mic. Just like wave off Emmerin, and I'll look over at the guards and kind of like flutter my lashes a little bit. And would one of you be so kind as to escort me to the library or anywhere that I might purchase or borrow some books? Or if you have a hall of records, as it were.
And both of them look up towards the building that's above you.
so it's down to get food and a place to sleep, up to get books and information.
For the both of you, Depth Caller Banwo may be your best bet. And he kind of gives you a side eye, Emmerin. And looks back at Laya and says, "But I don't know what you're looking for, but there are some things, I suppose, that might fit your interests."
Lovely. Thank you so much.
So, just to be clear, Depth Caller Bon Woe is the one who knows about Elia.
Correct.
It's Elhaya, right? Elhaya.
Allhyaah, I think.
Emmerr.
That's how I have it. It's Allhaya. Sorry.
And gentlemen, if you don't mind me asking, what is a depth caller?
He is, what is the word you would use? a shaman, I suppose, may be the best word.
Maybe an elder?
Orlo, that's enough with the elders.
Actually, wouldn't the protector be the elder?
Or is somebody else the elder?
I totally forgot about that, and that's fucking fantastic. Then none of them are particularly old. I don't.
He means hierarchically.
Don't worry, it's just a thing with him. You don't even have to acknowledge it.
They always do this to me.
You know, I also am curious as to the status vis-a-vis being an elder.
We run our town via a tribal council. The three people that we have just mentioned, well, two we've mentioned and the one you've met, Protected Durza, Maker, Ito, and Depth Caller Banwo are all the members of that council, and they determine what is best for us, the city itself, and the direction that we take with most things.
And are those three positions always on the council? You're a protector, depth caller, and maker?
Yes. They are mostly elected positions, if you will.
So, I take it the one who kicked your friend in the chest wasn't installed by popular choice.
What Protected Durza lacks in decorum, she certainly makes up for in not only her particularly amazing strategies, but also her incomparable fighting skills. There's never been anyone that could stand up to her.
That's what I would look for in a military leader. Yes, a lack of decorum.
All right, Laia, we gotta go buy you a book or two, or
Absolutely, let's go.
we're going shopping.
So then we will head up to meet Banwo